What's going on, guys? So we're back with a special episode today. Not only is it my first NBA 2K20 rebuild mode video, but we're also doing a team that I'm pretty close to because I grew up in San Antonio, if y'all didn't know. So I've been a real big lifelong Spurs fan. I've actually written for a Spurs website, spurstalk.com. So give them a shout out. Check them out. They're an awesome website. I'll definitely attach some of my articles in the description below so y'all can check it out if you want to. But we're doing the start now mode in 2K, so we're basically picking off right before the NBA shutdown and second week of March. And I'll show you my rotation real quick before I simulate the rest of the season. The only thing I changed from real life is that Bryn Forbes starts, except in 2K, he always leaves after the first year anyway, and I really don't care to re-sign him because he can't defend anybody in this game. So I'll let him come off the bench, but I'm not going to start him. I'm going to start Derek White, and this also gives me a better chance of re-signing Derek White when it comes down to it, so he won't be angry and want to walk. I thought about starting Walker, but I think we're going to go with Derek White, just because one of the things that the Spurs did in real life this year that kind of frustrated me is Pop didn't play DeJounte Murray and Derek White together hardly at all this season, and didn't really frustrate me, but it's one of those things I thought that could have made the team a lot better. Some of our lineups I wasn't a huge fan of. No disrespect to Coach Pop, he's the greatest to ever do it, but all right, guys, I'm going to go and simulate the rest of the season and skip that. If you want, I'll make sure. Okay, I can't re-sign anybody anyway. Okay, so we're through the season, and one of the things that really frustrates me about simulating on Superstar, which is what I play on with no sliders, so just 10-minute quarters, Superstar, so that's what I'm doing for this mode, is that when I want the team to be bad, it seems like they do pretty good. But when I have a good team put together, sometimes they don't do so hot. So I won, 10, 11 games in the last month or so, so that was kind of frustrating. But we'll go and look. Antetokounmpo got MVP. I don't think that really shocks anybody. Ja Morant got Rookie of the Year, same. Montrezl Harrell got Sixth Man. Kawhi Leonard, Defensive Player of the Year. Bam Adebayo, Most Improved Player of the Year. So hopefully we'll get something like that in my Miami Heat My League series. Budenholzer, former Spurs assistant, got Coach of the Year. Wow, 64-18 for the Bucks. That's pretty nice. And let's advance. All NBA first team, Harden, blah, blah, blah. See if we got any Spurs in here. I doubt it, to be honest. Okay, we didn't. Gonna go and simulate the playoffs, and I'll show y'all for a minute when it's over. Okay, so we're looking at the first round here of the West, and everything looks pretty normal. LA, I would definitely take over Memphis in 4 or 5. Houston beat Denver pretty handily, but I don't think that would shock anybody. Same with Oklahoma City and Utah. I think that would be a better series in real life. But then the Clippers beat Dallas handily. Second round, LA over Houston. Again, no surprise. Clippers over OKC. They beat them, but I would think that'd be a decent series in real life, and it was in the game. But then the Clippers beat the Lakers pretty handily in the Western Conference Finals. That's a bit surprising, although not completely unrealistic. In the East, Milwaukee over Orlando, I would think they'd probably sweep them in real life. Philly beats Miami. Tough series. I'd actually probably take Miami in real life. Boston beats Indy. Nothing shocking about that. Brooklyn beats Toronto. That's shocking, except that, the rosters are injury-free right now, so I guess they probably had Durant and Kyrie. So can't really do much about that, but Brooklyn goes on to beat Boston, which I guess with, Kyrie and Durant healthy, then it does make some sense. Philly sweeps Milwaukee, which is pretty crazy, and then Philly beats Brooklyn in 5 with Kevin Durant and Kyrie. Okay, but then the Clippers beat the 76ers, who seem pretty unstoppable, in 7. So, interesting playoff series. Let's go and simulate through this. Into the first offseason, player retirements, nothing out of the ordinary. Staff retirements, so we did lose Pop this year. That does happen, and probably over half the simulations. Hall of Fame inductees, Vince Carter. League meetings, we're going to make sure we reject all of them. League realignment, skip through that. The draft lottery, let's see what we got. And we fell to 12. So I think in real life we were projected to get the 11th pick. So, I mean, pretty much expected. So we got to re-sign some guys. Navarro is part of the team, so I'm going to go and bring him back for 3 years. Now, with Pop retiring, we'll go and bring Tim Duncan back as our head coach, which isn't ideal because offensively he's not a great coach in this game, but it is what it is. At least he's not a defensive-minded coach; he's balanced, so that kind of gives me a better variety for players I can bring in. And we'll bring in Ime Udoka, who's a former Spurs player and assistant, to be the assistant under Timmy. Go and simulate through this to the first NBA draft. Right now, we got, I think, just DeRozan on a player option. As far as making trades going into the draft, I think we're going to keep Aldridge at least until the trade deadline next year, just to keep it as realistic as possible. Who knows what will happen in real life, but I would think they wouldn't trade him right now. The only guy I'm thinking about that they would trade during the offseason is Rudy Gay, potentially. So I'm going to see what teams offer. Al Horford. I don't really know what a realistic trade would look like for Rudy Gay. I mean, maybe something like Taurean Prince and a second-round pick next year? Or is that 2 years from now? No, that's next year. Okay. Al-Farouq Amino, just, better defender, but not really the better player. Taurean Prince is a few years younger, though, and he's on a 2-year deal. It's similar money. He's from Texas. I don't hate that deal, or he went to school in Texas anyway. First-round pick, lottery protected. I don't think Rudy Gay at this point is worth a first-round pick. Robert Covington. Now, my problem with that is I don't think the Rockets would ever do that trade, so it's not really realistic for Chimizi Mitu for a center when they don't really have any play centers. But, he is kind of a little bit in the mold of Clint Capella in that he's athletic, he can run the floor. He's more of a modern-day center. But, oh, man, I love this trade for the team. But I don't think they ever do it. I think they're offering maybe 2 first-round picks for him. That's insane. Now, Draymond, again, the Warriors aren't going to trade Draymond for Rudy Gay. I would love to make one of those trades, but I said I wanted to keep it kind of realistic, so we're going to go with this, I think. We're going with Taurean Prince. If worst case scenario, he can be a third power forward. I'm going to go and jump the gun and make that trade. Just bring in a little youth, and next year he'll be an expiring, or the year after. Even though he's not on a great contract, we do get a second-round pick with it. He's a decent perimeter defender, and so I think he's a decent fit. How did he do last year? 11 points a game, 5 rebounds. Okay, we can live with that. Not good field goal percentage, but he hit the 3 at an okay rate. Okay, go and simulate our pick in this year's draft. Trade offers, not really interested in them. Let's just see who's available. Cole Anthony. Definitely the best player available. Not much of a scouting report on him. The only thing is, we really don't need a guard. And in real life, I don't see him falling to 12 either. Nico Mannion, I think NBA Draft.net has his comparison as Derek White. So to have two guys like that would be kind of cool. But again, not really a need. Vernon Carey Jr. That's kind of where I'm leaning right now. Is bringing in Vernon Carey and having. I don't watch a lot of college ball, but he seems like. He seems like he'd be a decent fit on this team. And NBA Draft.net has him as a 4, so I'll probably move him to a 4 and have him start alongside LaMarcus Aldridge this year. And he would definitely be an upgrade over Trey Lyles, I would think. See if they have a... No ceiling floor on him. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Yeah, I really don't love any of the guys available, to be honest. But I can live with and there's a lot of guards. Tyler Bay wouldn't be a bad pick. I want to say he's a decent defender and a B perimeter defense. But I'm going Carey, and what I'll do is I'll move him to power forward. And now second round, you got Jalen Smith, Paul Reed. Don't know a lot about a lot of these guys. This guy's from Argentina. Always a lot of big guys available in the second round in 2K. I don't know if there's really much of rhyme or reason behind that. And see if there's anybody I really recognize. Point guard, nah. Shooting guard. That was small forward. Nobody. Do I really want to take two bigs here? Kenyon Martin Jr. It's pretty funny. I guess I thought he was coming out next year, not this year, but we could get a decent third center, potentially back up in the future with Charles Bassey or Austin Wiley or Udoka Azubuike, but I'm really thinking about trading this pick. I don't see anybody I love. Let's go to the Hawks. And it's their pick from Sacramento, it looks like. So we're gonna go ahead and simulate to the end. Real quick, we'll look at see the guy I got, Vernon Carey Jr. Ooh, so this guy, I don't know who he is, but he might have been the better pick. But I'm cool with Vernon Carey on the roster. Cole Anthony would have been a better pick, but I was never really thinking about picking this guy. So Carey was decent value. There are a lot of 75s, but then it kind of drops. Now the second round, I don't think there was anybody great. So the Hawks took Paul Reed, 70, but they're kind of just a bunch of 2K scrubs. So I think we're better off trading that pick. Vernon Carey Jr., we're going to go and sign him. I'm going to edit him real quick. Okay, so we got Vernon Carey, who is actually a 76 as a power forward, so his rating went up. So that's kind of a steal. He's our best defender inside at power forward, and also a better perimeter defender than Trey Lyles in the game, as well as Lucas Samanik. So that's pretty good upgrade at power forward. Not a great shooter, but decent enough defender, good rebounder, better athlete. So I think that was a decent pick. So we're going to go to team options. DeMar DeRozan declined his option, so I guess that's what typically happens if I remember correctly. Qualifying offers, definitely Pirtle. Let's look. Do we want to bring back Quindary Weatherspoon and Drew Eubanks? Yeah, probably. So I'm going to go and sign Weatherspoon for the remainder of the season and sign Eubanks. Just because in real life, I mean, Eubanks has been balling in the G League, playing a little bit in San Antonio as well. Weatherspoon was a rookie last year, so I think we'll keep him on the roster. He's a decent enough third-string shooting guard. Pirtle, definitely send him the qualifying offer. And let's start free agency. So we are sitting with Murray and Patty at point guard. Patrick Mills is on a one-year deal, so I think I'll bring him back this year as a backup point guard. And after that, I'll probably put him on some minimum contracts. And just until he retires, and maybe be a backup some, probably third string for the most part. Just because realistically, the Spurs aren't trading him. I would think he's a Spurs for lifer, so I'm cool with that. Shooting guard, we're pretty much set. Derek White's going to start, and Lonnie's the backup, so that's good for this year. Small forward, we definitely need some help, and power forward, we're pretty much set, though. I wouldn't be mad at Taurean Prince playing the 3 and the 4. And then at center, LaMarcus Aldridge, Chimizi Mitu, and Eubanks. We'll definitely bring Pirtle back. So we have 13 players. We really just need a small forward and Pirtle. See how much cap space we have. 24 mil. Pirtle will probably get at least 5 to 10 or 5 to 15 of that, depending on whether we bring him back for just this year on that one-year deal or if we sign him long term, which is kind of what I want to do. I think. Where is he? Okay, so yeah, I think I'm better off waiting and signing him long term. So here's the thing, DeRozan, I really wasn't going to bring him back, but he fits really good in the balanced system that Timmy's running. A lot better than he did in Pop's defensive system, even though he's a B+ in defender in 2K, which I really don't understand why. So maybe I'll bring him back. I want to say Aldridge is on a one-year deal. Let's go one-year deal plus a player option and see if he takes it. I could offer him a crazy amount just to make sure we get the deal and not like the Hawks or. Because I don't know how realistic it is to offer him that much money, but at the same time. We have nowhere else to allocate the money. Our roster's pretty much set besides Jakob Pirtle. So I'm going to offer him 35 the first year, and since he definitely regresses both seasons in 2K, I'll put that team option for 33 the second year and see if he resigns. Okay, so we're bringing DeRozan back. Forbes is walking. Bellinelli's walking. get through this phase and see if we can bring back Jakob Poeltl as well. So we got DeRozan at small forward. Cool. Poeltl, I just see long term. He can either be our backup or start. Let's see if he'll take this this 5-year deal. Goes from $10 million a year to $12 million a year. I don't think I'm gonna throw a player option at the end. Cool. So we'll re-sign Poeltl long term, and I think 10-12 million is a really good deal for one of the better backup centers in the league, and who's still very young, so he could still progress a little. Okay, player progression. So DeRozan goes down 2. He always does. DeJounte Murray goes up 2. That's also not surprising. LaMarcus Aldridge goes down 2. Same with him. That first season always goes down. Derek White stays the same. I was kind of hoping he'd progress a little. Same with Poeltl. Patty goes down 2, but still serviceable enough as a backup point guard. Moving Carey up to power forward got him to 3 points. Lyles got a little better, so he might still be a part of the rotation. Lonnie Walker got better, so that's good. And Keldon Johnson got a little better, so that he might also be the backup small forward this year. Let's see, Taurean Prince, Chimezie Metu, Luka Samanik, Quinn Weatherspoon, and Drew Eubanks. Okay. Now, as far as training camps goes, oh, wow. So, Vernon Carey, cracked neck vertebra. That sounds really bad. He basically broke his neck. Out for the season. I don't know if that's going to... Yeah, usually the Summer League injuries in 2K just magically go away when the regular season starts, so we'll see. Hopefully he doesn't miss time in the game, and hopefully he doesn't regress because of it either. We'll see what happens. So we're going to go ahead and do next year's draft class. I did this top one for year 1, by the way. Jat Move 916. See, pretty good draft classes. We'll do 2021. Cool. Go and do training camps. I'm thinking I'm going to go perimeter shooting, DeJounte Murray. DeRozan definitely needs it, but long term, he's not really going to be a huge part of the team. So Murray will be. And also Derek White, I think we're going with the same. He's a good, not great shooter in 2K. Actually, Murray's a better three-point shooter and mid-range shooter in 2K. Well, Murray is a good mid-range shooter in real life. So we'll definitely help him out there. And then we're going to go perimeter defense for Lonnie Walker. Usually when I play this game, I just do untapped potential for 3 guys, but that makes it a little less realistic and a little less fun, I think. So we'll actually build on the skills. Cool. Take a look at our rotation. We're going to go... So the same starting lineup that I ended the season with last year. That would actually make a decent amount of sense. Bench unit. Okay, so it's looking like Vernon Carey might be out. Okay, so he's out 2 to 4 months, so we'll probably see him some this year. But that's a little disappointing because I was thinking about having him start in Lyle's spot, but looks like Taurean Prince could take Lyle's spot off the bench as a backup 4. Give Keldon Johnson some more minutes too. And the only other thing I think I need to change is probably going to put Luka in the G League just because he's not playing this year. Hopefully that doesn't cause him to walk in the future, but not getting minutes isn't going to help my cause anyway. So just do that and see what changes. Yeah, looks like we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and simulate to the trade deadline just so we can see how the team's doing. Okay, guys, so we're at the trade deadline here, and surprisingly, the Spurs haven't really fallen off a cliff this year. We are actually a decently better team this year than we were last year without much changes. We're actually a 3rd seed, so I was not expecting that at 29 and 22. So I was really thinking about trading LaMarcus Aldridge at the trade deadline, but we might not just because the team's performing so well. So I'll definitely look and see what the options are and see what teams are offering us. But I really like our bench unit right now. So we got Patty Mills back as well as Vernon Carey. Carey's putting up 9 and 4 on 56% field goal shooting, so that's really good. Patty's regressed a little, but because he's also been hurt, but he's still a pretty good backup point guard. Lonnie's having a nice season off the bench. Keldon's also having a really nice season. Not shooting. I say that he's putting up 7 points a game, rebounding well, but he's not shooting well at all. So might need to improve on his shooting in the offseason. Jakob Poeltl's having a really good year. He usually gets better year to year in 2K. Taurean Prince, not Tayshaun Prince, has played some more minutes, and he's shot the ball decently. He's been okay. He's a good 3rd-string power forward. Chimizi Mitu is not really in our long-term plans, and that's about it that's played. Let's see what the starters have done. DeJounte's taking a step up. Almost 7 rebounds and 7 assists a game is awesome. Shooting the 3 ball at a 50% rate. I wonder how many he's taken. And if I can look that up even. So 23 attempts. That's not a lot. That's actually a lot less than he took last year. So that's not great. We need him shooting the ball more. Derek White always averages less points per game, even though he's shooting the ball decent from 3 and not great overall. But 5 assists is nice for a shooting guard, and he's 2nd best defender on the team. DeRozan's having a nice year. He's not doing much worse than last year, which is really good. Lyles is doing great. He's playing lights out at power forward. Aldridge starts to regress, but he is shooting the ball over 50%, so that's good. We'll see what they offer for LaMarcus Aldridge, but I'm really not trying to rebuild in the middle of the season since we're probably a sure thing for the playoffs at this point. Okay, so sorry I missed all that. Gordon Hayward and Taco Fall. Clint Capella. I like that move, but I don't really understand it for the Hawks. The Heat would be a suitor. Portis and Dragic doesn't really excite me. None of these trades are really exciting me. Aaron Gordon is definitely one that's been talked about in real life. I really don't think at this point in the season that'd be a good trade. And at this point, Carey is looking like our power forward of the future. And Lyles is playing well, so I don't see getting another power forward when we basically have 3 guys that can play in the rotation already. Although Sabonis would be really nice. I'm surprised they're offering that trade. How's he doing? 12 points a game, so he's really regressed this year. I wonder if he's just playing less minutes. Nah, he's not playing it nearly as well. Guys, I think I'm going to hold on to Aldridge at this point and just ride the wave this season. We can look at DeMar DeRozan too real quick, but again, I think I'd rather let him walk in free agency, although Chris Middleton's up to 89. That's not a bad offer. It would involve losing White too, though. I like Zach LaVine, but I'm not going to make that trade. Well, I say I'm not. I would lose my shooting guard and my small forward. However, I would get a. Oh man, I'm really thinking about this, but I'm gonna pass. I'm good with what I got. I think. Okay, Jimmy, but he's 31. They're the same age. He's got 2 years left. I really want that. 2 years and a player option. No thanks. John Wall. $42 million. Wow. Okay, we're just gonna simulate the rest of the season, guys. Well, contract extensions. Patty, I'm gonna go ahead and bring him back. I don't think he'll sign a minimum, but $275. See if we bring 3. Ugh. Come on, dude. $325. Brought him back. Okay, cool. Looks like Me Too wants out. I'm cool with that. He's got the generic moveset in 2K, so I'm not a big fan of him in 2K as I am in real life. He's much better playing in real life. Hopefully, White will... he's not too happy, but he said he still might re-sign with the Spurs, so that's a good sign. Lonnie Walker looks like he might re-sign. That's always good. Trey Lyles is feeling satisfied, but he thinks he's going to move on, so that's interesting. All right, I'm going to simulate through the rest of the season. Okay, so on April Fool's Day, I didn't mean to skip that, but on April Fool's Day, I'll lose DeJounte Murray for the season. And then on the last day of season, I lose Trey Lyles for 2 to 4 weeks. So I'm not even sure if I made the playoffs at this point. I am above 500. And so the team basically fell apart the second half of the season. You know, if I knew I'd have lost Murray at the beginning of April, I would have definitely traded Aldridge and probably DeRozan halfway through the season to get something back for him. You know, now we're not sitting good at all, but that's okay. We're going to move on, see if we got anybody on the teams, which we do have DeJounte Murray, who dislocated his left patella for the season. So he's going to miss the playoffs if we do make the playoffs. Okay, we are a 6 seed, so that's not horrible, but, you know, we should have been in Houston's spot, but we still got to be able to beat a team like Houston anyway. So now that the season's over, they got Luka starting at the 4, even though he hadn't played all season. That makes a ton of sense, right? I'm just going to go manually and take him out completely. Vernon Carey is a rookie, but he's played plenty, so he's going to go, and I'm going to give him those minutes in the starting lineup. And then I'm going to give Tayshaun Prince an upgrade of minutes there. And that gives our bench unit everything but a point guard. We don't really have a backup point guard. Lonnie Walker kind of is. And then Derek White's going to have to play some spot minutes. So we're just going to have to go to a 9-man rotation. I'm going to go and do the same thing there. So Carey has 17. So we'll put Semanik at 17. I'm going to put 17 minutes to Tayshaun Prince. Luka's not even going to be in our playoff rotation just because he's been with the G League team the whole entire season. So that leaves Lyles may miss the whole entire playoffs. And we know that Murray will. Let's go and simulate the round, see what we get. Okay, we do win the first game. And we win the first 2 in Houston. That's big. And 3 in a row. Can we sweep the Rockets in the first round? And we do. Wow. So that's pretty shocking considering we don't have our starting point guard. And then we get Golden State in the second round. Oh, man, why couldn't the Clippers won? And we could have gotten some revenge on Kawhi. But they got Steph, Clay, Wiggins, and they got Buddy Hield and Anthony Edwards. Don't ask me why they signed Buddy Hield when they... Oh, looks like they might have traded for him. Oh, look at Greg Monroe sitting at the end of the bench too. Nice. Okay, let's make sure our rotation is where we're liking it. I'm cool with that. Okay, go through this, and hopefully we don't get swept by them. And that's where it's headed right now. And, yep, so we are going to get beat by Golden State in 4. If anything, I think the Spurs definitely overachieved in the overall this year, but definitely in the playoffs, losing DeJounte Murray for the season, as well as not having Trey Lyles out there, who started for us most of the year. The Portland Trailblazers, who I was thinking about trading Aldridge to, they basically are the same team almost, with getting Nurkic back, obviously, and they're going to the NBA Finals for some reason against the Nets. And the Nets are a champion. Okay, well, that makes more sense than the Trailblazers, I guess. Gotta love the 2K Sims. Player retirements. Everybody retired, basically. Okay, skip that. Staff, nobody we got. Rejected. Realignment. Okay, we got the 18th pick. That's the one thing that sucks about being not quite good, just average this year, is we got a lower draft pick. I was gonna be okay with that if we were going to the playoffs. We got Vince Carter as an assistant coach this year. Who's the guy for the Spurs in the game? I think it's Eldon Stewart. Yeah, we'll go with him. Okay, now going into the draft, it sucks because DeJounte Murray was really getting better, and now he's going to regress because of his injury. So, Patty Mills also already regressed because of his injury, and he's probably going to go down even more this year, ratings-wise. So we are at the point to where making some kind of move would make some sense. Although nobody on the roster right now is really tradable or worth trading. How did Vernon Carey end up? He was okay last year. And Taurean Prince was serviceable, so I think we're just going to keep him on the team. Dorian Finney-Smith was probably an upgrade, but we don't really need him. Go into the draft, see what we got. Actually, we have 3 second-round picks. Go and trade to the first round, see what we got. Move up to the first round here to our pick. Wow. So, not loving any of this. And I don't really know a lot of these guys coming up for next year. So, let's look at their ratings and see. So, Deshaun Nix is the best highly rated player on the board. Potential's pretty good, but these guys have higher potential, but their ceilings aren't exactly exciting. Isaiah Todd does have Derek Favors. Now, perimeter defenders. This guy has an A-, highest rated perimeter defender left in the draft, but his ceiling is Marco Bellinelli. So someone explain that one to me in the comments. Shooters. Trey Mann is 6'4" point guard. Pretty good defender. Best shooter left in the draft. I actually kind of like this pick, and that's assuming that that Patty Mills isn't really going to be good as a backup next year. But there are better scores out there. This guy's interesting. If we didn't already have Luka, and yeah, he rates pretty high actually. I'm looking at NBADraft.net right now, and just to see if they even got this guy on the board for next year. Rocco, not even gonna try and say his last name. And he's not, but you know what? It's funny, he didn't play in college, so in Croatia he averaged 23 and 10 last year. And he can play the 3 and the 4. This is kind of a Spurs pick. I mean, he's pretty good at everything. He's not bad at anything, but he's okay at everything. He's a good shooter, good finisher inside. Not a terrible defender, not a bad playmaker, and he's a big guy. He's 6'10", decent enough rebounder, good basketball IQ, good athlete. I'm making that pick. Now we're going to the second round, see if we like any of these guys or if anybody we were looking at was still available. Devin Askew, Ricky Rubio, but decent shooter, decent defender, really good playmaking. I don't hate that, but you know, I'm really thinking about just trading all 3 of these second round picks and nothing, so teams don't want them. See if I can get like a late 2022 first round. Just because I really don't want to draft. It might not seem like the most realistic thing to do, but I really don't want to draft somebody that I don't have any idea who they are. So let's go to a team that's probably bad. I'm guessing the Pistons probably suck. So we're going to look at their 2022. We'll put a lottery protection on it, and no, that's not even close. Oh, wait, why am I looking at a bad team? I need to look at a good team. Yeah, I completely didn't think about that. Where's the Warriors 2022? There it is. Top 3 protected. Still nothing. Wow. We're going to go back to Golden State and maybe something in the far future, like 2025, and of course, no. So we'll just do 2022 pick. I don't like that either. But I really don't want to use any of these picks. Okay. You know what? I'm going to try one more thing with them. I'm going to try and get a later first round pick for somebody else. Just anybody. The Nets won the championship, so they were good. 2024. 2025. And I'll give them a 2024 pick too. Why not? So that trade was kind of pointless, but you know, that's the pick to me was pointless. So Rocco Percussion, yeah, I can't say that. Percussion, I don't know. Seems like a pretty decent pick. The Knicks guy was definitely the better pick there. Looks like a Ron Harper clone in the game. But everybody after him was pretty much at the same level of or just slightly better or worse than the guy I took. So I think that was a pretty decent pick, and I actually like all the things I'm reading about him. So gonna sign him. We're gonna decline DeRozan's contract. Walker, Keldon, Luka, definitely accept those. Quinn Weatherspoon, Drew Eubanks. We're not going to make the qualifying offer for me too because he wants out. Everybody else, I think we're going to go and try and re-sign. Okay. This is the big free agency, so we got a lot of guys at power forward. Keldon is a serviceable small forward. We'll work on his shooting in the offseason. This is an opportunity if we want to make an offer at a big guy. Now, Giannis, just realistically, he's not coming to San Antonio. We know Kawhi's not coming back. Jason Tatum, he's restricted, so there's really no point in offering him anything. Paul George, there has been ties with Paul George in the past, so I don't hate that as a potential option. And now there's some bigs we can upgrade. I think that's the route we're going to go. We're going to let Aldridge walk, and we're going to look at Rudy Gobert. Bam is restricted, so we're not going after him, and Steven Adams. And for the difference in Rudy Gobert and Steven Adams, there's not a huge difference there. So I think we're going to go after Steven Adams, who's 2 years younger too, so that makes more sense to me. And I think he'd be a good fit on the Spurs. So 3-year deal. It's a lot of money. We'll see if he'll take a front-loaded contract. But first, let me look and see if he's okay, so nobody's offered him anything, so I think I'm safe offering him that. So we basically that would give us a starting center, backup center, third-string center. Point guard, shooting guard is really what we need to look at right now. Well, no, not so much shooting guard, because Derek White, we can try and sign him long term. Okay, point guard, it really comes down to, do we think Patty can be the backup for another year? And honestly, he doesn't get hurt too often in 2K, so I think he can. I don't hate Conley as a backup for that much money. But we are trying to go younger. I kind of like the idea of bringing Kojo back as a third point guard or backup point guard kind of thing, and that actually Arcadiciano, and I'm really looking for Walter Lemon is kind of who I was thinking about going after, but doesn't look like he's available. So we're gonna go. How much money do they want for Kojo? Yeah, that's a pretty good deal. 4.5. We'll offer him 5. Now, small forward. We got DeRozan walking. He had a good year. I could see us accepting the player option might not have been the worst thing to do in retrospect, but I didn't. So I'm gonna go a different route. Actually, I could just bring him back on a 1-year deal and just offer him a little less money than that was on the player option. We'll do the same kind of contract. So he'll just take a little pay cut in theory. And the only other thing I'm thinking about is given, well, we couldn't offer Paul George anything. So we did sign Steven Adams, so that's big. Corey Joseph, I think that's a good deal. And DeMar DeRozan. Everybody else walking. Lyles, but we're set at power forward. Aldridge, we're letting him walk. We're not going to renounce the... Oh, gosh. So that's going to be an issue. Derek White. Okay, see if I can figure out how to bring White back. I think Aldridge might be the odd man out. Ooh, still not working with his deal. Okay, so we're gonna have to try Kojo again and DeRozan. This is gonna be tricky. I see how much money we have, but as of right now. So Derek White got an offer by the Pistons, 3 years, $54 million. So that's what not quite $20 million a year. It's a lot of money, but we're gonna take it. 3 years is a good amount, so I kind of like that. Okay, see where we're sitting. We're pretty much set at point guard. Except I'm going to try and get Kojo. Good shooting guard. Small forward needs some work, especially if we lose DeRozan. It's going to need a lot of work. But we're good at center now. Okay, it looks like DeRozan's out of our price range. It actually looks like he signed somewhere. For some reason, Kawhi's still a free agent. Really need to look and see how much money I have. Okay, $17.86 million. So I still got some cash. Most important thing right now is small forward. So we got Anunoby, Otto Porter, Justice Winslow, Korkmaz, DJJ, Josh Hart, McBuckets, Torrey Craig. Really going to look at shooting and defense. Okay, and Anunoby's pretty good 3-and-D wing in 2K right now. $15 million. I don't hate that. Really like what Justice Winslow offers as well, though. A little cheaper. Let's go after Justice Winslow for. I'm gonna give him a 2-year deal, and also gonna offer Corey Joseph contract. Okay, so we got Corey signed. Justice Winslow signed. So we're kind of set as far as our rotation goes. Probably going to bring back Weatherspoon and Eubanks. Oh, don't look like we can afford to bring back Weatherspoon. Okay, well, just Eubanks then. Yeah. And I'm fine with just having that as a rotation, but Bryn Forbes could bring him back, but he doesn't really have a spot in the rotation. Kind of just need an end of the bench guy. You know what? We'll bring Danny Green back on a minimum deal. I mean, he's 34. Looks like he's pretty washed, but if he needs to play some minutes, you know what you're getting with him. So. Okay, so Murray, even with the big season-ending injury, he does continue to progress. At 28, Steven Adams regresses a little at a lot of things, so that's kind of silly in my opinion. But Derek White stays the same. Seems like he always stays the same. Luka Samanic, he's going to start off coming off the bench, but he's all of a sudden our best power forward. Don't think he's played a minute with the team. So, actually, he has. He's got a rebound and an assist and a half. But Lonnie Walker got a lot better, so that's good to see. Pirtle always gets a little better. Justice Winslow, we're probably going to work on him as a shooter, as well as Keldon Johnson, who got a decent amount better. So overall, I'm pretty okay with everything that happened. Patty Mills is kind of out of the rotation. I might have to play him over Taurean Prince, though, because we need that backup point guard. Unless I want to have Prince be like the backup small forward off the bench and have Justice Winslow be the backup point guard off the bench. But I think Justice Winslow is probably going to be starting, so that's not really going to work. And so this is the final season I'm going to do. I might do the next offseason too, but that's the third draft class, so I might do next season then with that draft class, but typically I don't go after that when I do stuff like this. Okay, perimeter shooting. So this year we're going to go Justice Winslow. Yeah, he could use it. And Keldon Johnson, because he didn't shoot the ball very well, he could use it. Perimeter defense, we're going to go Lonnie Walker again. And so he should be a really good defender as contemplating starting him as shooting guard. Derek White never really does much, averaging 8 points a game last year. And Lonnie was averaging a little more than White off the bench, so I'm probably going to make that change. White's on a 3-year deal, so I'm not worried about him walking or anything. So Justice Winslow, I'm pretty much cool with him as the starting small forward. That's kind of why I signed him. He's on a 2-year deal. Luka, I think he's probably going to be part of the rotation, but we're not going to start him just because he hasn't played any minutes in the NBA yet. Okay, so I think my connection went off with the internet, and so it kicked me out for a second, but I'm back on, so I think everything's good. Okay, so it's year 2 for Vernon Carey, and he was number 12 pick of the draft, had a pretty decent rookie year, so I think starting him at power forward probably makes the most sense, as well as Lonnie Walker, like I already went over. We are going to run 10-man rotation, and the only change I'm going to do here is Patty's still probably a little bit better of a scorer, but I mean it's not a huge difference. And Kojo's the better defender, so I think I'm gonna make him the backup point guard this year. And Patty's still gonna be on the team, so he retires. He's that guy, but he'll only get spot minutes if there's injuries and stuff. So I'm pretty happy with that rotation. Really good bench unit full of young guys. Keldon's got some experience. It'll be interesting to see what he does his third year. Matter of fact, he might get a chance in the future at starting. Look at the proficiency. Cool. So Luka, who's up to re-sign, is going to move on. Now, hopefully... Okay, so we got a player option, and I'm pretty sure by then we'll have his bird rights too, so that shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go to the trade deadline. Okay, guys, so real quick, we're halfway through the season, and at the trade deadline, and I'm probably not going to make any changes. I will sign Patty Mills to a minimum deal for next year to bring him back. Like I said, I would, but right now we're sitting pretty good. I'll show you where we are in the standings in a minute, but everybody stayed healthy. Taurean Prince is always trying to get minutes over my backup point guard, which kind of drives me crazy. I wish they would just allow me to put set rotation pieces so I didn't have to deal with having like 3 power forwards playing in the rotation and stuff like that. But Murray's really coming into his own this year, so the injury really didn't set him back that much in the game like I thought it would. He's shooting the ball well and everything. He's averaging more points. Lonnie Walker's doing better than I've seen him do in a Spurs franchise in this game, so excited about him. Justice Winslow's been solid. Kind of what we expected out of him. He's not really getting better, but he's about the same. And matter of fact, I'm kind of thinking about starting Keldon Johnson over him just because I think he's the younger player with the higher upside, and would like to see Winslow run with that bench unit. Vernon Carey's having a really good second season, and we're looking at Luka. He's doing well off the bench. I was thinking about starting him, but I think Carey's the better player right now. Pirtle, really good backup center. Steven Adams is solid for us. The one thing is he averaged 17 rebounds a game almost last year for OK City, and this year he's averaging less than 10. So that's kind of a bummer, but that's okay. Derek White's doing really good this year off the bench, so that's nice to see as well. So the one move I think I'm gonna make is I'm gonna put Justice Winslow on the bench, and looks like in the game that Keldon's a better scorer, although Justice Winslow is the better defender. So actually, I'm just going to leave things as is, and we're going to go and sim the rest of the season. So as you can see, guys, we did get 53 wins. So if I didn't accomplish anything, I did get the Spurs back to a 50-win season for the first time in, 3 years in the game, I guess, 3 or 4 years. Trae Young won the MVP. Let y'all look at this real quick. See if any Spurs are on here. And are we going to get nobody? Wow, that's kind of bad considering we got the number 2 seed. I'm sorry, I forgot to show you all that halfway through the season. But was really hoping it would be, and we were very close. We were tied for number 1 with the Lakers, and we didn't quite get it. But I think we're pretty happy where we're at now. The one scary thing is going into the playoffs, we did lose Lonnie Walker at like the very end of the season for the year. So, not much I can do about that. He was balling out too, but it kind of is what it is. It looks like 2K went ahead and put Danny Green as the starting shooting guard, and gosh, I really think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start Derek White, and we're probably just gonna make it a 9-man rotation. Just because Green's ratings are so low at this point, I really don't want him starting in the playoffs for us or really playing much at this point. So we're gonna go 9-man rotation. Actually, I don't hate this where Keldon would play shooting guard and Taurean Prince will play small forward. So I think we're gonna go ahead and go with this. Simulate the first round, and hopefully it doesn't. Okay, so I guess Murray was hurt too. Hopefully it doesn't kill us having Lonnie out. We really should still be able to beat the T-Wolves, although it's 2K, so who knows what's going to happen. Come on, 2K, get us that dub. Okay, wow, I would have been really upset if we lost that first round. So we do have the Memphis Grizzlies, who are a 3 seed, and let's see who they got. Michael Porter Jr. Okay, that was a big pickup for them. It looks like he's at 85 in the game, averaging 20 points a game in the playoffs. So they got a pretty good squad. There's no doubt about that. I'm sure these guys are. Jaw's already at 92. So this is definitely going to be a tough series for us. We are a 2 seed, so we should be competitive. Derek White being hurt does not help. Come on, guys. Take this to 7. Okay. Oh, man. So we're eliminated 7. We got really close this year to making the Western Conference Finals, though. A lot closer than last year. It's frustrating, but that Lonnie Walker, injuries kill you in 2K when you're simulating. It sucks. That's 2 years in a row where had a big rotational piece, big starter, get hurt in the very end of the season. But we're going to go into our last offseason and see if we can do anything. Suns got the ship, and they got a tough team with Devin Booker, Obi Toppin, I'm assuming that's Malik Beasley. DeAndre Ayton is probably a stud at this point. Mikal Bridges, Markkanen, they got a squad. Going to retirements. So LaMarcus Aldridge did retire this offseason. Jim Boylen retired. Going to reject everything. Probably going to get a bad draft pick. Final offseason, so I might just trade it. And, in real life, I wouldn't be doing stuff like that, but I'm not playing past this next season, so I don't see point in getting a guy who's not going to get any minutes. That I kind of want to roll things back just with the squad I got. But we don't have any second round picks, so I'm going to go and do it. Get to the draft, we're on the clock. See who we got. Christian Lander. See if anybody stands out here. It doesn't seem like anybody's really standing out, but Lander is the best shooter. But this guy's the best defender. Oh, I like Matt McClung. And he's valued around towards the end of the first round, so. Ooh, Christian Lander's the best scorer in college this year. Well, that's left on the board. So I think that's a good pick. And he's a 73, so that's pretty good. Bring Luka back, Keldon, Vernon Carey. Eubanks is, we really don't need qualifying offer, but we do for Lonnie Walker. And now, because this is the last season I'm doing, I'm probably just going to let Lonnie Walker sign that qualifying offer. Just have a little more money to play with. Typically, I would sign him long term, but we're not really playing for long term, so. Do we have any money for St. Katie? Okay, so we don't have much money to play with anyway. Okay, who's walking? So we need to bring Kojo back, or at least see how he did last season as a backup. His rating consistently went up. He stayed healthy. I mean, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad either. He's a really good defender, so. Yeah, I think I'd bring him back one more year. Lonnie Walker. I'll wait to offer him a deal, obviously. Who else is gone? Did I have a third small forward? I don't think so. Power forward. Okay, so we're finally going to let Taurean Prince walk. That makes sense. And then Eubanks will bring back. Okay, and we did have Danny Green, which we might go and bring him back too, and so everybody's accepted. Okay, we'll bring Eubanks back. No, don't match that. Actually, it really doesn't matter. We might bring Danny Green back if we have a roster spot, and then Lonnie Walker, and then that's pretty much probably the offseason for us. Okay, So, yeah, we have room for both. So, we're going to bring... Where's Lonnie? There he is. Okay, so... I'm going to go and offer him... We'll start at 17.5, but we're going to do a 5-year deal. And we have bird rights, but I don't think I need to use them. I'm just going to put a backloaded contract. Danny Green will get the 1-year deal, because if anybody gets hurt during the year, I'm willing to play him. I don't think he'll be playable during the playoffs, especially now, because he'll probably continue to regress, just kind of be an end of the bench, good teammate guy. So the one change we made this offseason was we let Taurean Prince walk and we drafted a point guard. And as a number two seed, I feel like with Lonnie Walker healthy, we would have had a chance to go into the Western Conference Finals, and we took him to 7 without him, so we would have had a shot at a title last year. So this is our last season, but we're gonna go ahead and have a chance at a ring, I think, as DeJounte Murray's become a stud. Derek White is still pretty good. He's gotten a little better. Steven Adams, for some reason, is playing pretty well, but he's regressing in the game like as if he's like 35 years old. I don't really understand that at all. Everybody else is getting better. Keldon's progressing well. Winslow's progressing well. Walker's awesome. That he's still progressing, although that injury did send him back a little bit on his athleticism, but that's okay. Vernon Carey's getting better. And Corey Joseph at 30 is continuing to improve, so that's a good sign. All right. So the training camps, let's see what I need to do here. I'm probably going to give athleticism to Lonnie Walker just because I think is the maybe can nah. We're going to go athleticism just because he had the injury, and I want to make sure he's still a super elite athlete. See what else we can do here. Corey Joseph's still part of the rotation, and he wasn't scoring the ball great, so we're going to give him shooting. And perimeter defense we're going to give to Semantic, who could probably use some help there. Okay, take a quick look here. Derek White was really good, but I'm still going to start Lonnie Walker, who's just younger, has more upside. And the game has me starting Winslow and Luka, and I think I'm cool with Winslow starting and Keldon being my backup 3. But I do think Vernon Carey is the better player over Luka at this point. So I'm going to start Carey at Luka, and then I'm going to go and simulate through the entire season, and we'll get into the playoffs and go from there. And this is probably the end of the video, so see if we can hopefully just stay healthy this season and then go on a deep playoff run. And like I said earlier, it's been more of a retool than a rebuild for the Spurs, but we've kept some big pieces, but we've added some younger guys around him, and I think most Spurs fans would be pretty happy with a team like this in real life or something similar, given the opportunities I've had. So we'll see you at the end of the season. Okay, guys, so injuries did play a role this season, although we did get to 50 wins. And we might have a chance of getting that 2 seed where we're half a game behind the Suns. So if we win and they lose, maybe we'll get it. But luckily, I don't think we have any big injuries going in the playoffs. So our starting rotation is intact. Our bench unit is pretty much looking good. I know this guy was playing some minutes and doing pretty well, but he got hurt. And then Corey Joseph's just been... something about his rating has been going up a lot this year, so that's good. At 31 years old especially, that doesn't happen much in 2K. But as you can see, his field goal percentage is the best it's been in years. And he's shooting the ball really well from 3, too. So with his defense, he's been a pretty good backup point guard. Derek White's continuing to do well. Pirtle, Samanich, bench unit. Okay, so Keldon Johnson has gotten better, but pretty much the bench unit stayed about the same. DeJounte Murray, continuing, he's become a stud for me. He's all-star caliber player and should be a leader going in the playoffs. Lonnie Walker continues to improve. Justice Winslow, Carey's gotten better. Steven Adams is solid. So we're going to go into the playoffs, see if we can get that 2 seed. But I'm pretty confident he's even as a 3 seed for our final playoff run that we'll have a chance. Think I'm giving Spurs fans a team they should be pretty proud of. Okay, so DeJounte Murray got first team all defense, so that's pretty impressive, but not too surprising for Spurs fans. So we somehow fell to a 4 seed, so we lost the 1 game, Suns won, and I guess Golden State won a game, and that hurts. But, you know, the Grizzlies are a beatable team, and healthy this year, this will kind of tell us what would have happened last year if we had the whole squad healthy. Keldon Johnson is getting the starting nine as small forward. I'm cool with that. We're gonna go and simulate, see how we do. Okay, so not doing too hot, and they got the game 3. Oh, come on, let's take a 7, guys. Take a 7. Oh, man, we lost in 6. Steven Adams got hurt for 2 weeks, and it's frustrating. We'll go and see who wins. That's disappointing that we did worse this year than last year. I think we probably had the healthier team in the playoffs. Same exact record, but we went from a 2 seed to 4 seed, a difference at half a game. But, you know, I'm pretty happy overall with this rebuild. It's the first one I've done. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed making the videos, and it's a lot of work to edit, but it's definitely worth it if you guys are enjoying and watching it. So leave me a like and a comment if you do enjoy these videos, and I'll continue to make some more. Looks like Golden State won. The rich keep getting richer against the Bucks, and all right, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm out. Peace.